Gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, and welcome back. Woo! Have we got a show for you? Oh my goodness. We have an amazing news. We have the SEC has been defeated once and for all by Richard Hart, the 30-day extension. They have given it up and said they will not be trying to continue the litigation against Richard Hart. It is a big victory. Where a lot of the big crypto firms have failed, Richard Hart has succeeded. And of course, the timing is perfect. It's really is incredible. So celebrate. What does that mean? That means that Richard Hart has got a lot less pressure on him, and of course he can really dance in the victory. We're going to look at his dancing later on. And then secondly, Pulse Chain Hex, and of course Pulse Hex can freely run. And we won't get any more nonsense from these fake DeFi protocols that are out there supporting blockchains and things like that. So it's really exciting to see this. Let's see what happens with people like Uniswap and Rabby Wallet and all these other people that have been dissing the chain. And of course, it's going to be fun there. The other thing is, of course, capital can flow. We obviously had a turn of sentiment already in the last, I would say, week or two since we had that big sort of capitulation event, and we've had some bullish average crosses recently. And of course, especially on the 3-day, and of course, looking at some potentially big upside for Pulse Chain. It just seems like win. And as you guys know, I'm super bullish about Trump's strategy over the next 2 months or so, as he leads into the 4th of July for the 249th celebration of the American independence. And of course, that's going to be exciting too. We're going to see the tax bills run through. We're going to see the international trade order reorganized. We're going to see regulations decreased and leverage increase. We're going to see a lot of things. We currently know he's working on the Federal Reserve to get those interest rates down, because he's already done a great job with fuel. I think the golden road for crypto is being paved, and we are all on it. We're all on it. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoy the show. We're going to get into it. Let's get into the chat there. Say hello as well. We've got a few people in the house. We've got Brennan. Woohoo! That's right. Win Richard. That's right. Absolutely, man. Big shout out to Brennan, our TA guru in our Discord. Now, if you haven't gone into our Discord, the links are in the video description. It's a private Discord. Get in there, folks. $12.50 a month. Really great value for everything you could possibly imagine around crypto and politics and things like that. If you haven't got into our Telegram, that is free as well. Check out our alpha list as well. Big shout out to MVS in there. He's just curated a updated list, so you want to get on that straight away today, especially with on the back of the news of Brown Pulse Chain and the Richard Hart's victory over the SEC. So it's going to be pretty cool. So definitely check out the socials and the links in the video description. We'll see you in the community. We've got a big announcement coming up very shortly as well. We're launching a new vehicle here, and you guys are going to find out about that. So that's coming up as well. So I don't know. It could be tomorrow. It was maybe today, but we might be tomorrow. We'll see. We've definitely made a lot of progress towards opening that up. So look forward to that. That's coming up there, and we want you all to join. Hexavator in the house there. Hey, gang, good to see Hexavator. Big USA. Yeah, good to see Hexavator in there. Yellowtail as well. Holla. I'm liking. And Hex expectations there. Let's go. So without further ado, let's get into the news here. And just let me repost the show before we get started. And don't forget, if you haven't followed, smash the follow button on Rumble, on X, and of course, hit the subscribe button on the old YouTube there as well. So I'm going to repost this. Make sure you get out there and repost as well. I'll post the link in the channel to the show, so X show, and repost that out if you can. That'd be great help as we grow. That's what we're looking to do, grow. And apparently, it's going to be even better now because of the SEC. We just defeated the SEC. It's going to be massive for Pulse Chain. Really is cool. We've got so many different developer teams as well launching on Pulse Chain, giving utilities and DeFi coming up, GameFi. We've got it all. It's all come to Pulse Chain, so it's going to be really cool. And hey, look, let's have an horizon for the chain of 3 to 5 years. Let's allow it to be, built upon. Any imperfections be fixed up. All those sort of things. Let's let's be quite generous here as we move forward. And of course, what we're on about day 710 or so as we move forward on Pulse Chain. So pretty exciting. Let's get into without further ado. And we're going to check out a really good article here by Mr. Collins. And he's got a pretty big following as well. So let's go on this one. All right. Mr. Collins here. So SEC formally ends case against Richard Hart. No amended complaint to be filed. So let's pick up that document here. We can see this is the document itself. So dated April the 21st, 2025. The Honorable Carol Amon, the United States District Court Judge, of course, in New York. And of course, Securities and Exchange Commission versus Schuler. And of course, dear Judge Amon, on the 28th of February, the court dismissed the commission's complaint granting leave to file an amended complaint by March the 20th, 2025. On March the 17th, the court extended the SEC's deadline to file an amended complaint until April the 21st. Plaintiff Securities and Exchange Commission provides this notice that it does not intend. So this notice that it does not intend to file an amended complaint in this matter. Woohoo! Victory is sweet. And that is the 21st of April there, Matthew Gould for the plaintiff. So super, super cool. And of course, that's very exciting to see that. And we can see that is actually posted on the court listener as well. You can see that down here, the main document 21st, that is also down there. So very, very cool on that. Now, that's pretty exciting, right? Pretty exciting stuff. Now, I'm going to post the court list in there in case you guys want to, keep your tabs on that. It probably will have a published version at the moment. It's just got buy through Pacer, but that's definitely something you can, hold to your favorites. Although it's pretty much dead now, isn't it? Pretty much game over. So we probably won't be very caring about the court listing very much. Now, obviously, Richard's still got the Interpol notice. Now, it's a different issue. Of course, Interpol is more like a broadcasting, media broadcasting, and I'm sure his lawyers are working to get him off those false charges as well. So let's see how that progresses in the future. Not really of concern to the chain, but more to Richard Hart. So let's get on to it. That is huge. So let's read some of this update here from Mr. Collins. Mr. Collins has 33,000 followers on X. So he's pretty good. Aside following them, he says today the USC or the SEC, I should say, submitted official notice to the Eastern District of New York, confirming it will not be amended. It will not file an amended complaint in the case against SEC versus Richard Hart. Not sure. I feel like I'm going dyslexic or something. We got the original complaint filed in July 2023, alleged violations related to unregistered securities and misappropriation of funds. On February the 28th, 2025, the judge, of course, dismissed the SEC complaint in full. In a letter filed today, the SEC officially declined to amend the complaint, bringing the case to a final and conclusive end. The decision confirms that Hex, PulseChain, and PulseX are not securities as determined by the court and affirms the decentralized nature of the projects built by Richard Hart. The outcome marks a major legal and ideological victory for the decentralized finance and the broader crypto community. Absolutely massive, right? Absolutely massive. So let's quickly look at some of the other comments he's made. SEC's case against Richard Hart is officially over. No amended complaint, no fraud, no securities. This is a massive win for Pulse Chain ecosystem, and here's why it's bullish for Pulse, PulseX, Hex, and Incentive token. Exchange listings with no regulatory cloud. Major exchanges like Binance, Coinbase, and Kraken now have zero excuse to keep gatekeeping. Get ready for liquidity, exposure, and access to millions of new users potentially. Institutional confidence, funds, and protocols that were hesitant now can enter without legal risk. This particularly helps people like Rack and Michelle and people like that have a lot of VC and capitalist partners. RH projects could now see DeFi integrations, a lot more of that. That could be huge. Protocol partnerships and serious capital inflows. And there's a lot of kudos to win this victory, right? There's a lot of kudos to this, which I think is pretty exciting. Brendan says, when RH next live stream? Yeah, that's true. Everyone's calling for that. Never know. Imagine what that would do to the markets. Triple Alliance in the house there. Hey. Good to see Triple Alliance. Big shout out. And of course, media reappraisals. The hit pieces don't age well. Now the SEC case is dead. Mainstream and crypto media will have to take another look, and the truth is finally on our side. Builders unleashed, of course, and I talk about builders all the time. Developers now have the confidence to build on Pulse Chain. No more uncertainty, just green lights. Expect new dApps and tools and innovation. Now, if you've got a project out there, you're a small, medium enterprise or a project on Pulse Chain, you want to get a bit of limelight, we've opened up a promotions team. It's led by our MVS. He's just incredible at doing promotions. And, of course, we've got a whole suite of offerings. So if you want to get hold of those, either hit me up or hit MVS up as well. And you can find us on Telegram there. So hit the Telegram link for that if you want to get some promotion help. It's a pretty competitive environment on PulseChain, and we just felt like, oh man, there's so many good projects out there, just don't get the limelight they deserve. And so we wanted to have a chance to help them out. So check that out as well. Now, new user inflows. Many avoided PulseChain due to fear of regulatory fallout, and we saw tons of that, right? Now that it's behind us, expect new users, stakers, holders to join the most honest ecosystem in crypto. Price discovery, of course, and this is what we're looking for. This is the road, the crypto road paved in gold in 2025. With gatekeeping crumbling, the market can now start to truly price these assets without artificial suppression. Brace yourselves, he says. Communication and vindication. The communication never wavered. Now you've been vindicated, and the energy that comes from this will be explosive. The next wave starts now. Not only that, but we also had a 3-day bullish cross on PulseChain. So that's also, we've got TA behind ourselves and now the fundamentals as well. OMG, it's so good. RH Legacy, Richard Hart stood against the storm and won. And this isn't just a legal case, it's a narrative shift. The FUD of facts from outsiders to pioneer. The next era of PulseChain starts now. So pretty nice post there from the crypto, Mr. Coins Crypto Dabbler there. I posted in the chat if you want to show him a bit of love. I thought that was a pretty good write-up as well. So there we go. Bam, 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 bam. All right, show some love down there. And of course, everything has turned pretty positive, I think. It's going to be pretty exciting moving forward, right? Pretty exciting moving forward. So I'm going to repost that myself. I'm going to give them a few hearts on some of these comments. Let's go. Let's support the community, right? Let's get out there. You get some good stuff out there. Very, very cool. All right, so that is looking good. Let's jump away from that and let's get into what this could mean. We saw a lot of Richard Hart. Richard Hart obviously has been fairly good, I would say, better than average for sure at price calls. But I think his market calls are the best in the market. I haven't really seen anyone do better market calls than him, particularly amongst founders, right? People that have a platform in crypto. And I always saw Richard Hart as kind of the rebel founder, right? The rebel founder that was a true DeFi pioneer. And of course, he'd helped pioneer a lot of things. Hex, we had audits for Hex, we had economic audits, we had legal opinions, we had made Uniswap popular, early AMM pools and stuff like that. I mean, it was all from Richard Hart and Hex community. And of course, during a period back in 2019 when there were scams everywhere, every little scam person in the world, with their totally immoral positions, were trying to scam people. So Richard Hart came and showed quite a bit of a light there. Now, obviously, there's pros and cons along the way, and there's also been a lot of black swan, grey swan events along the way. But ultimately, he called out a lot of these guys that called him out, and he ended up being right, and many of them ended up going to jail or their project failing, right? So most crypto founders bent the knee. Ripple paid 700 million. Kraken paid 30 million. Binance paid 4.3 billion. EOS paid 24 million. And of course, we know Hex followed on that with the AA lobbies. Richard Hartwin stood alone, didn't bend the knee, didn't settle, didn't sell you out. And he said he wasn't going to do that, right? Richard Hart said that he had already front run with this, or legal opinions, and said he wasn't going to do it. And he fought and he won. No founder in crypto has done that respect where it's due. And Richard Hart does have kind of some of that resolve that Trump has had, right? President Trump, with all the fake legal challenges from the Democrat Party, or as we call it, the Democrat Mafia Party, or the Democrat Demon Party. You decide what you want to call it, but there's something along those lines. He fought and he won. Richard did. No founder in crypto has done that respect where it's due. And I think that was a fantastic post there from Hidden Immortal as well. So go show him some love also, because there's some good little write-ups here. So kind of cool. Let's have a look here. We've got some other comments. Let's go here. We got Wookie and I'll say Wookie. Wookie is working out. Miracles can happen. Hey Wookie, I want you to do something, Wookie. Actually, I can't. I've got to get you to do it after the live stream if you're watching. So let me do that, because I don't want to give away anything on stream. So because of what we've got coming up. But we got High Stakes Hex in the house there. Superman, I swear you look young every day. Reading the ruling, it brought a breath of fresh air, weight off our shoulders. It's almost our time. Let's go, Hexico. Let's go, Hexico. Absolutely. That is fantastic. So I'm very excited, and I'm sure everybody else is excited about this too. It's going to be pretty cool. So, that is show some love out there for this post. There's a pretty good one here from Immortal. Give him a follow. Give him some hearts there and a repost. Nice one. Great post as well. So, kind of cool. Right. So, kind of cool. that is it. And let's get ready to rumble. Now, we've obviously got Richard Hart here. Now, Richard Hart, I don't know where he is, but maybe in Europe somewhere, maybe in Russia. People have all sorts of places where he could be. He could be in North Korea, for goodness sake. And here we are with Richard Hart. So we've got to play some of this dance video, I'm sure. So let's play some of that. I don't know if I've got any music for this, but let's see what we got here on in the mix of music. Let's play some. I will play some soft hip hop here. So we got the play here. Richard Hart here dancing, and I think that's pretty cool. We might lift the beat there. How about that? That's it. So we got Richard Hart dancing somewhere in the world, defeating the SEC. They always hit that long bill for some reason, but hey, look, he's doing it. And we got a party here as well. So this is a tribute to Richard Hart. He showed some strong character there. You know, it's not easy having the SEC against you. He was doing it. There we go. He's doing the roll. So this is one of Richard's famous dances, of course. And his captain's hat. You can't beat the captain's hat. Look at him go. It's pretty fun. So there we go. There's a tribute to Richard Hart, and calling the man, myth, and the legend. He did it, and I think that's pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. So hats off to him. Brendan says the Demon Rats. Yeah, indeed. We got that going. Yeah. So I hope you're dancing at home as well, because it's a major victory, and it says a lot about Richard's staying power, and of course his ability to get things done. So there we go. And he did what a lot of the big corporates could not do, defeated the SEC in court, and then, of course, they've abandoned it. So it's fantastic news there. Now, let's move on. That is kind of where we are at the moment. Now, in terms of some of the stock market and things like that, we had the Dow Jones. Dow Jones is from last week was down, so we're going to see what it's like tomorrow. And of course, I think that was what day results was that Monday. Yeah, so Monday there we've had the market down, but we're going to see what's going to happen here with the Jerome Powell and Trump calling Powell to lower the interest rates pretty much. Now Powell, of course, brought up the tariffs, the uncertainty around tariffs and inflation, but of course there are a lot of other factors that Trump's working on that are deflationary, not inflationary. So we'll see what happens there. We do know that getting oil prices down is very, very important, and Trump has done that. Right, we can see the oil prices have come down a lot, right? So if we look at the last couple of months there, look at how they've come down on the end there. So we had oil prices up at $71. We're now down at 63, 66. So Trump's doing a lot in that space. The other thing, of course, is we've seen interest rates need to come down, right? So they're 4.5% need to come down, and of course those are key inputs into the economy for the golden road, as we say, or the golden age of America. So Trump is working on that. Very, very important there. This right up to the 4th of July, he's laying the foundation. That's it. Obviously dealing with the federal budget around tariffs, around Doge and the costs. So he's getting rid of the costs, increasing the revenue, increasing the economic growth, right? He's getting rid of regulations for business and Wall Street, and increasing the leverageability of small to medium banks, not just the big banks. He's obviously doing World Trade Reorganization with all the countries. He's got over 90 countries or more going to be doing deals, and that's going to be a good news flow right continuing probably for next week onwards. We're going to get non-stop good tariff agreements there. Now, obviously, exact timing I don't know, but it's pretty close. We know there's going to be the first 15 countries and so on. So this is going to be a complete reordering of the world. It's going to be great for us. It's going to be so good, you guys. And of course, we're going to probably see, hopefully, interest rates, start to come down and under pressure. And of course, getting monetary printing's already started, if I remember rightly. So I think things are really on the road for some absolute huge market updates. We've had a nice little correction, and now it's almost game on. So kind of cool. We also see that gold is breaking records here. $3,435 already. This thing is just climbing, isn't it? The gold. And of course, that bodes well for the stock market here as well. So and silver, they're still waiting. Silver lagging a little bit, a bit like Ethereum lagging Bitcoin, right? But I think that's going to be pretty exciting. Now, moving to crypto. Let's go to the full screen here and get some love here for crypto, because this is looking pretty good. So Bitcoin there moving up big time, $87,600 up 2.63%. Now, some people are saying that this might be the limit of where it can go at the moment. So that may very well be true. But it's looking pretty strong at 87.6 because we're at 108,000. Remember the last local high and then the new all-time high. But look, we're looking at pushing way past that into 150 to 250 territory, possibly with even a possible upside of 400K this year. And anything like convergence to gold's market cap is just going through the roof now. I don't know what it is, maybe 30 trillion or something. Well, if we've got to get to that, we've got a long way to go, right? For that market cap. So probably another 15x from here is where we're going, 15x on Bitcoin to converge to gold market cap. So I might do some redo some numbers on those. Those are approximate sort of numbers. So yeah, up 2.5%. Bitcoin looking strong. And look at the dominance, 62.37%. So we're looking pretty strong there with the old Bitcoin dominance. You guys know the last bull market, 2021. I always remind us of this every day just to give us a framework, a perspective. And of course, that we had got up to about 70% on the Bitcoin dominance before we had altcoin season. And of course, all of us are waiting for altcoin season. And what does that mean with now that Richard Hart's beaten the SEC? Well, Pulse Chain, Hex, and PulseX, and all of the good protocols on Pulse Chain can really, really rally, right? So it's going to be a lot of fun to see that. So we're going to have quality DeFi. We're going to have maybe some of these categories we've been covering over the last couple of weeks, like printer tokens, like pump tire tokens, like DAO tokens. Maybe some of these also influencer token, all these kind of things like that they can really have a run now. Some of the top GameFi protocols on Pulse Chain, things like that, stablecoin ecosystems on Pulse Chain, these can really start to really run. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see all that play out. Anyway, the rest of the market is not quite in altcoin season yet because you can see we've got a few red marks there. Ethereum there's down 1.4% at 1575. Solana down 1.8% at $136. XRP down a 30% there, $202.08. And we got ADA down 0.5% there at 62 cents. It's funny, I started off quite slow with my reading and I was getting caught up a little bit, but hey, here I am now flying. We're flying strong here because it's crypto. We get there in the end. We get there in there. We got Tron there is up 1.2%, 24.6 cents, and we got BNB up 0.5% at $597. So that's kind of where we are on the majors. Looking pretty mixed on the altcoins, but we've got Bitcoin looking strong, and that's the main thing, right? That's the ocean level. We want the ocean level to go up, and then the ships there will, they do their rocking. They do their rocking later on. They're just sitting there still at the moment, but they're going to do their rocking later on. All right, so kind of cool there on that. Let's get into the rest of the markets. And we're going to have a look at the results here, but we're going to go back to our other view here. And look, we've got the crypto market at 2.82 trillion. Like I said, if gold's around 30 trillion right now, we've got a long way to go, folks. We've got a long way to go. 2.82. It's a 10x sitting right there. And we're down 0.3% at the moment. So, it's a lot of upside for crypto, guys. We've got all the players potentially playing on the field, and many of them are just sitting on the bench, but they're waiting to get up to have their go at the field goal. And of course, we've also got a lot of investment vehicles like ETFs, and it's exciting to see where that's going to go to. At the moment, in terms of the rankings, Bitcoin number 1, Ethereum number 2, XRP number 4, BNB number 5, Solana number 6, Dogecoin number 8, and Tron number 9, and Cardano ADA there is at number 10. The best performer over the last 24 hours has been Bitcoin, up 2.44%, and then of course Dogecoin there, 1.8%, Tron 1.1% there. So those are the better performers over the last week in the top 10. What have we got there? We got Solana up 5.1%. So the meme chain there doing pretty well. Remember, it fell off its highs there, or its momentum in January, I think it was. And we got Bitcoin there up 2.9%. So looking pretty strong as number 2. BNB, the third best performer at 1.8% for the week. So that's kind of the majors there. Let's have a look at the best performance over the last 24 hours. Oh, it looks like in the top 100, we've got Stacks there at number 1. That's typically ranked number 78, but it's at number 1 performance this in the last 24 hours, up 9.8% there. Fartcoin, we've been talking about this, sitting at number 87, but it's the second best performer. Actually, this is not correct because it's got the wrong percentage there. Not sure let me do this again. What the heck? I don't know why it's sitting there, but it is for some reason, some anomaly. Anyway, we got Casper there sitting at 8%. Let me just check through some of these percentages there. Yeah, 8% there. Now, in the last week, let's have a look. Do they look sensible? They do kind of look sensible. Well, we've got BitTensor or Tau token up 31%. FET token, Artificial Super Intelligence Alliance, that is up 25%. And number 3 is Stacks It's sitting at 17.7%, but most of that is, or at least half of that is just over half of that's in the last 24 hours. Another good mention would be Hyperliquid there, up 15%, and Render. And we noticed that these have been performing quite well recently, haven't they? These particular tokens, you can actually see the green charts there, all on the uptrend for these ones. So there's something you could check out potentially for your portfolio. So that's kind of where we're heading now. In terms of the 17,000 tokens on CoinGecko, we got some big movers. We got Loom Network there, up 107%. Top gainers, Orbiter Finance, up 80%, and Illuma Network Old there, up 55%. So it looks like Loom making some major moves there as well. Talking about hashtag Rect, Richard Hart called out a lot of Rect cryptos, and one of them is Mantra, launched with a 6 billion market cap, and a lot of shenanigans went on, maybe inside job, and down OM went. It went down. So we're going to have a look at that in a minute. But Babylon also trending, and Fartcoin trending there as well. Let's get into Mantra. Now, obviously, the market cap was 6 billion. So let's go to the market cap on the chart here. It was 6 billion, and it got wrecked, right? So I'm not sure what's happened with this chart, but it got wrecked. It basically fell off a cliff, right? Let me look at the last, I'm not sure whether it fell off a cliff there, right? So it's sitting at 6 billion. And now it's just bled out there. So people that were trading the bottom, we call them bottom feeders. I mean, the market cap was still 600 million, so let's not laugh around about that. But got down to the bottom here. It's now down under 490. It's bleeding out. So I don't know. Is it on life support? Can it be resurrected? I don't know. But it is in trouble there. Down pretty much on every time frame. So that is pretty much it on the old CoinGecko site. Now looking at Bitcoin chart, the circle of volatility. Woohoo! It's playing out like a dream, man. Honestly, OMG, it is playing out like a dream, and you guys got to be happy with that. We got to be happy with that. We got High Stakes X in the house. X is going to get source out of the bub, hopefully sooner than later. Says High Stakes X. I think so. All right, so this is the circle of volatility, and we're almost out of it. It is pretty cool, and we've got the nice green pump here. We almost had a death cross upon us, and of course we've survived death crosses before. The last one was September. So our golden cross parabolics continue to go, and we're looking forward to some pretty bullish environment here. Now, the title of the video is the crypto road paved in gold in 2025. Obviously, there's not just crypto and, of course, the Trump strategy, but also the Richard Hart now beating the SEC. This is all coming together, lining up like a beautiful, beautiful thing. That's so good. Anyway, so we got our 90 days, right? So 4th of July is my target date. That's kind of when Trump needs to get the foundation of his strategy in place. That includes, as I say, the federal budget. So remember that is that they earn about 5.5 trillion. The deficit is about they spend about 7.5 billion. So the deficit is about 2 trillion. So did I say billion? So 5.5 trillion is the income. The expenses are 7.5 trillion. The deficit is 2 trillion. And half of that, 50% of that is in interest costs alone. It's this terrible, terrible thing. And that is $1 trillion of just that. Now, we know that Elon Musk and the douche there with all the young super geniuses are cutting out costs, and we're expecting that to get up to probably about $1 trillion. So that's going to half the deficit. That'll leave us another trillion. That's basically the interest debt. And then they're going to try and work on other avenues to find more stuff to get out of the budget as well. So instead of spending 7.5 trillion, hopefully they're going to get that down to 5.5 and match the revenue, right? So that gets to a balanced budget. Another way of accelerating that is by increasing your revenue, right? Getting that 5.5 trillion dollars in revenue up, and they're going to do that through taxes and all the other policies they're doing to boost the economy, particularly supply side issues, and of course that's going to be bullish as well. And so they're going to hopefully, even though they're lowering taxes, they're going to get a bigger growth because they're going to have a better economy, and therefore they'll get more tax take that way, and therefore they hopefully will not just get the balanced budget over the years ahead, but to actually budget surplus and start paying down. One of the methods paying down the big $37 trillion in debt is to basically get into a budget surplus, start paying it down. But there are other avenues that they're going to be looking to pay that debt down, and that is assets, right? One of them could be the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve. Obviously, Michael Saylor's got forecasts of the Bitcoin getting to $13 million by 2045. And 2140, what century is 2145? Sorry, I went back a little bit, back to the war, but back to 2145, and that could be massive, right? That's one way of creating asset value, that you basically net out the cost to the government debt, and of course that way you might even get to zero interest rates. I mean, it's a possibility if you had that, if you could net that out. So yeah, that'd be pretty crazy. but there's other ways of doing that. We know Trump's going to look at the whole United States as a balance sheet, and he's going to leverage that balance sheet. And of course, they're doing a big survey to see how much of the balance sheet is there. What is an accurate picture of the U.S. balance sheet? What are our assets, above the ground, under the ground, on the oceans? And then they're going to try and leverage it all and make the golden age of America. And that's going to all boom into crypto and stocks and all the rest of the risk-on assets. So bring it on, bring it on. And here we are with a big pump today and avoiding the death cross. We've still got the golden cross in play. And it looks like we're getting a bit of an uptick here in the old 50-day moving average. That is currently at $85,500. The 200-day average is at $85,060. And we're actually seeing the first separation. So if we get some more green candles here, that would be very bullish. We just have to slowly etch our way up, really. And I'm expecting to see big, we talked about the federal budget, but we're also going to get massive regulations. Like I said, make business a lot easier to do, a lot cheaper to do, and also to get small, medium banks, get their leverages up so they can leverage just like the big banks. And so we're going to see a lot of action in that. That's the second strategy of the three-legged stool, as I talked about it. And then the third leg is, of course, the World Trading Order and getting the world reorganized. And of course, dealing with budget, the 1.2 trillion trade deficit that the US has in goods, right? They obviously got a surplus in services, but getting that goods is very important because it brings in manufacturing and it lifts the real wages in the Midwest, and that's going to be very important for the United States. So 7 million jobs lost of that in the last, since 1975 approximately. So the last 50 years. But it's not just going to be replacing the old stuff. We've moved on. We've got technology, we've got AI, we've got robots, we've got lots of things happening now that are different. But we're going to bring a lot of these industries in that are very strategic to the United States to build all the big buildings that Trump's going to build, to build all the big ships that Trump's going to build. Everything you can imagine Trump is going to do. The space state, the Star Wars in the sky, all that sort of stuff is going to require steel, aluminum, and things like that. Now, we know recently he's been just going through one after another building stuff. We've got new LNG plants and traffic. So we got just today a new copper mine opening up there and processing. So all the stuff's coming on board. And of course, I think the riskiest thing that the United States has, not just the AI race, but also rare earths, right? Rare earths are the number one. Now, we've known this for a decade or so now because China had pretty much dominated the rare earths, and they still do. They can turn those off. They can try and, really throttle the trade talks with that. But of course, there's lots of sideway routes to get those sold because people like to make money, apparently. even in authoritarian governments, they seem to risk their lives. But this is some of the plays there. And of course, the United States are looking to open up more rare earths and discovery. And that includes strategies like Alaska and, of course, Greenland, right? Those have got tons of resources and not only oil and gas, but very likely a lot of rare earths up there as well. So you can see the big game plan. It's going to be truly of epic proportions. Now, once you make something truly golden, you've got to, if you have to pass it on, right? And who do you pass it on to? Well, you've got to pass it on to someone with similar views to yourself, someone that loves freedom, someone that loves prosperity, someone that loves common sense, someone that loves security. Otherwise, you could pass on a most powerful economy, the golden economy, to somebody that's just terrible, that's just dark and evil. So there is a risk in the future of that. And I just wanted to lay that on the table before we move on. But at the moment, we got the golden cross here. The golden cross is continuing, and it looks like we're going to get another wave. And I'm expecting, that third wave, that third strategy to get tons and tons of these countries announcing really good deals. And the market's going to love it. The market is going to love it. And we're going to get some really bullish days ahead of us leading into the 4th of July, the 249th, Declaration of Independence celebration is going to be pretty epic there. And funny enough, the 250 is going to be in 2026 during Trump's administration, which I think is just a wonderful thing. So bring it on. And you can see those up arrows there, up and away to that 150K mark. So it's going to be a lot of fun there. So that's kind of some of the stuff there on the old stock market. And the golden age of America is definitely looking good. Now, if you're on X at the moment, don't forget to share the channel around. I think I've got the link up the top there. So let's go back up there and share that around as well, and bring a lot of other people over here at the moment. All right, so kind of cool. Let's get into it furthermore. Let's get ready to rumble. We're going to jump into some really cool stuff here that's coming up. So not only we just talked about Bitcoin, but we have got some big stuff coming up for Ethereum in May. So let's get to that. Some big stuff on Ethereum into May. And Cryptographics, another influencer in the Pulse chain, and he covers Titanx and other things. Similar content to me in many ways. Cryptographics there. If ETF staking gets approved, so if the ETF staking gets approved, so ETF exchange traded fund staking gets approved, this could reduce overheads and increase profitability for institutional adoption, as one validator will be able to stake up to 2,048 Ethereum. More ETH locked up equals higher potential for supply shock. And this is what I keep saying about just the ETFs on Ethereum as well. We've got this institutional support for Ethereum. So I said, don't really worry about Ethereum. We're kind of in this elongated period of weakness. And of course, some degree, it's its own fault because it's done upgrades that benefit the second layer protocols, right? And they're the ones that have been running with a lot of meme coins and speculation on them. But I've always said, Ethereum will have its day. And this is probably a key catalyst here coming up for Ethereum. More ETH locked in equals higher potential for supply shock. Supply issuance needs to get handled. Plectra could help. So the big EIP upgrade coming up here could be a big deal there, right? So it's got post-merge net supply issuance. And here we are in May, right? Here we are in May. So this is the net ETH supply here. And of course, we've got the ETH price down at the moment. So I think we could have a nice little rally, the opposite rally there coming up there. And Bull he's in the Titanx developer crew. And he's got here the Ethereum Petra upgrade is scheduled to go live on May the 7th. 2025. So this definitely could be another bullish catalyst for us as well. They just keep lining up, folks. They just keep lining up ahead of us. This upgrade is a significant network improvement since the merge, combining features from the Prague and Electra development phases. So this could be huge, guys. Really, really big there. So kind of cool. Big shout out to Cryptographics for that one. I'm going to repost that too. All right, that is from Cryptographics. Let's jump into Richard Hart. Now, Richard Hart hasn't particularly, as far as I know, responded to the SEC victory at this stage. He may do. We will see. But he did put out a post here 5 hours ago on ZK's Sync. And, of course, it's hard to understand the absolute garbage most of crypto is. He says, take, for instance, ZK's Sync. The admin key for their airdrop gets hacked for $5 million and starts dumping their native token. So lol, as the centralized trash they are, and nearly all layer 2s are, the single centralized sequencer uses its admin key to just freeze 70% of the exploiter's funds. But like, if you have the actual admin key, it's a bit hard to call that an exploit, he says. The majority of crypto is garbage, and sadly, the garbage is supported by millions of people for some reason. They do not listen. Cryptocurrency was invested for censorship resistance, and you guys are just too stupid to get it, I guess. Pulse Chain is the real Ethereum EVM layer 1 with real validators that are really decentralized and doesn't have the problems that all these cancerous layer 2s have, of which ZK Sync is just one of them. Not your keys, not your coins, and that's a phrase that Richard said for many, many years now. And if you have a single signature with an admin key, pro tip, you don't have a blockchain, idiots, he says, and he's got a list of them here. So there we go, folks. That is the words from Richard Hart. So I thought that was a good way. And if we get anything from around the victory of the SEC case, we'll let you guys know. Now we got Steve Wright, Santa Barbara in the house there. Thanks, Superman. You've been a big help to all of us. I appreciate that, Steve. Big shout out to you. Hope you're doing well out there too. And Steve Wright there, a long-time supporter of the channel. Big shout out. All right, so let's get into it. We got also Somi. Somi put out a bit of an alert here as well. This is BankX update. He said that BankX have just sent 100 million EHEX over the bridge. So this is BankX. They've always been a little bit of thorn inside. Unfortunately, the Hex Goldwell gave them 800 million EHEX there. It was just an odd decision. I do not know why. I don't know if we'll ever find out why. I think so. Think so to be dumped over time on Pulse Chain. Now obviously the BankX has been selling their Hex for some time, and this is just another move there. I was hoping they would be out by the time that we actually had the turn on Pulse Chain, but it looks like they may get to sell their last couple of bags at higher prices. So we shall see. They used to have 880 million EHEX, but now they have about 190 million EHEX left. And they are now sending about 100 million over the bridge. Hex from Ethereum has observed them from disputing over time down there. I have no ill will against towards anyone because the macro forces are at play anyway. I'm just reporting this for your own information's sake to know that the BankX supply is almost out. Well, we've still got quite a bit to sell there, as we just mentioned. They are also selling after a Richard Hart's SEC victory win, perhaps part of the old sell the new spirit, which would probably be better to do it now than later on because at least people are going to get cheaper Hex if they do. I got sent these 2 picks attached, so that's the evidence there being posted out from the bank Hex there. Something of about 178,000. So definitely absorbable, especially at this price level. So we shall see how that plays out there. With that is $100,000 there. 50 million Hex there. They're the 2 transfers there. Forwarded from Dropbox, bridged ETH, and they're 50 million each for those. And you got the address there, 169. Appears to match up there as well with the 169 on this one. So there we go. That was there from your friend Somi. That leads us into Pulse Chain and the results. How many days is it? 711 days since we forked. Not since we forked, since we went live on the 30th of May, 2023. We forked a few days early on the 10th of May. And it is full system state copy, as Richard Hart points out, on the blockchain there, as we call it, Pulse Chain. We got the price at the moment, quadruple 0348. It is up 9.75%. Is this just the beginning of green candles? Should we have a 40% day? Should we have a week of 20, 30% gains, 40% gains? Is it time? It probably is. Let's say it is. But we're starting off with a modest 9.3% at the moment at the time of, I don't know what it was when it first launched an hour ago or so, but let's have a look at 6 hours. Yeah, it looks pretty similar there. So 24 hours, we're up at about 9.3%, still sitting at 35% of the mean sacrifice price. So if you are keen to get in while you can, because, once it starts running away, just like it comes down fast, it can go up fast. Why? Because we've got thinner liquidity pools and it moves up at a square, right? Most of the stuff's in V2 pools, and so it can move up pretty fast. PulseX at the moment, quadruple 0293 is up 14%, so that's a better move at the moment on PulseX. The buy and burn, of course, is sitting at 1,386 billion. Now, the one thing I was going to say about this was sitting at 7% the other day, so I'm not sure why it's showing at 6.97. Maybe the baseline's been moved with the amount of OA coins or something. That's a bit weird. The only thing I could explain that is the OA coins. So maybe that something's happened with the OA coins there. That's an interesting question for sure. All right, so let's get into, we've got INC at the moment, $1.58, up 17%. That is the big winner. And, of course, $1.58 there, looking pretty good. Now, we've got the inflation down, of course, 20x. We only got 5% of the inflation that we used to have. It's sitting at about 0.03 incentive token per second. So it's about 2,600 incentive tokens per day. So it's virtually nothing compared to a baseline of 55 million. So incentive token there getting very bullish. We also know that there's the Master Chef contract, which hints that once, incentive token and that's pretty fairly distributed, that the contract admin keys will get burned and it will be handed over to the to potentially to a DAO for the community. That could open up a lot of things like single-side staking and other things. So we shall see whether all heads could be pretty bullish, and maybe third-party protocols also coming. Hex at the moment, 3/4 of a penny, up 9%. eHex at the moment at 1/1800th of a penny. We just had big news from Dipcatcher around eHex protocol today, so I'm going to talk about that on the Ethereum chain. And the combined price of eHex and PX at the moment is sitting at 9400th of a penny, so almost back at 1 cent combined. Super cheap right now, Hex. And we also know Hex inflation's been cut as well by the OA sacrifice wallets with a lot of short-term and laddered staking recently. And, of course, that the share rate, the Hex per T-share has gone down from about 7.5 Hex down to about 1.6 Hex per T-share on both chains, Ethereum and Pulse Chain. The other thing, of course, is that, it can rise back up again over time as shares are destroyed and the share rate goes up. But, of course, the big thing is getting price movements, right? And that could be helped a lot by, new protocols like Dipcatchers. We're going to talk about that in a minute. All right, so that is where we are with the Richard Hart Gold core coins. Gas prices at the moment, I'm pleased to say they're far more modest today. I think we were sitting at 17 million yesterday at the live stream. They're now 3.6 million at the moment, which is quite bearable. And we got 5 cents for a PulseX swap there at the moment. But of course, Richard Hart did say that as the chain gets more valuable, things would get more expensive, and then eventually we may have to fork the old Pulse chain. That's the ongoing joke. Not so much a joke, but possibly a reality at some stage in the future. We got 39,352 active validators. Hopefully, we're going to get more quality validators as well. They're up all the time and stuff. Bridge at the moment is sitting at 81.5 million, so we're down about. I think about 750,000 from yesterday, if I remember right. I think we were at 82.25, possibly. Were we yesterday? Okay, I think so we were, but we're at 81.5 now. Now the die's gone down, so looks like the die, we're sitting at about 24. So I think we've had some die leakage. I haven't followed that enough, but some people may know about that. Looks like we've had some die leakage there. We've got Ethereum, Hex obviously up, sitting pretty normal. EX 18, I think we were at 1800th penny yesterday actually, but I think we have just a very slight movement there. ETH is obviously down just a tad, and Bitcoin is the big mover there, up, getting a big lift on there. Now, the one thing we're going to look out for moving forward is Coast. I suspect that with this SEC defeat, that we could see a lot more fiat coming through the Coast. So when the bridge is down, right? When the bridge, we've had a lot of the bridge down quite a few times recently because of the Gwei and other things like that. Coast is kind of the main way to get a lot of money over. If you're talking about bulk money, Coast is the way to do that, right? There are other places like Pulse LN, which are very fast, very good, but they're only open at certain times of the day, and it depends on the pair that you're trading, particularly BNB, things like that. But here on the Coast, you can use fiat and bridge onto Pulse chain that way directly. So that if you do want to get funds through, use the Coast protocol to do that. That's probably a good alternative. Set up your banking relationships, and you can get that moving at least during the week for sure. All right, so that's kind of where we are at the moment. Let's jump over to the market results. We've got $33 million in trading volume the last 24 hours. We've got 393,000 transactions on the Pulse chain. And it looks like we're sitting at 1, 2, 3, 4, number 5 on the blockchain list there on Dick Screener. And we've got some big movers at the moment. And the top performers, we've got Pulse Dye. It's been around for 2 months. We've got this Frank token, this free gold. Seems to have done pretty well lately, been on 2 days, up 72% at number 2. So we've got this one here taken away there. I'm not, it's been, the uptrends are pretty undeniable. Presumably it's safe. I haven't really looked at the security around it. Remember, just because I'm talking about some of the top performing coins, I'm not endorsing any of these. We're just commenting on what's performing at the moment on Pulse chain. So yeah, this is where we are. Really don't see much behind this, but maybe they've got a good community there pushing that up. I do not know. You have to do due diligence on that. We got this Mooney one as well. It's been around for 9 days. It's up 46% as well. I think these are kind of pretty similar to each other. So you can check that out in your own time. Savant there, one of the printer tokens in the printer category, is up 31.5% there, $2.71. And this is actually on our alpha list, so you can check that out. You got to remember that printer tokens, you earn a yield every day from the volume trading, but you can get a lot of price volatility. So just remember that they are kind of a speculative asset class at the moment, but they're very popular. They've been dominating, one of the dominating classes of crypto categories on Pulse chain. So that is taken away there. Finvestor, of course, is the grandfather of these printer tokens, and it is at $20.50, up 26%. Let's have a quick look at that as well. This is also on our alpha list, just funny enough. So alpha list is looking pretty good. It's not all the top performers. Now, obviously, this is coming off the bottom, but you get the benefit from the rest of the ecosystem with this one, and you can read the details down here. So this one here is different from the printer tokens, but it has 4% tax burn and 1% investor affections. So it's kind of like a softer form of I guess PGC, but has all the other printed tokens in the family, which providing a lot of yield for people in their wallets, is dropping to their wallets. Doubt token at the moment, Pump Tires is doing pretty well. The old Doubt community, 24% the last 2 months. Let's have a quick look at that chart and see how that's performing over time. Well, it's looking pretty damn good, isn't it? It's about as good a chart as you can get. It's not printing you pretty much up. I mean, there's a volatility in there, but quite large actually if you think about it, but it's the uptrend is looking pretty good there. So the Doubt Pump Tires team are doing a good job from the looks of it. What else there? We got PMX 500, been around for 22 days. That's up 19%. Mnemonics, another printer token. So we've got Savant there, we've got Finvestor and Mnemonics, all printer tokens there. That's up 18%. But you can see the volatility at 14% in the last 6 hours. We've got Remember, another printer token as well. That's up 17%. And we've got Dominance, another printer token, up 16%. So you can see we've got a couple some new tokens. I'm not really sure what cat class we'll put those in, but we got Pump Tires and we got printer tokens dominating at the moment. Now that brings us down to Teddy Bear. Now Teddy Bear, of course, what we call that in the meme space there. This is backed by Moon King with the big 110,000 followers on X, and this is Teddy Takeover, right? Teddy Takeover. Now is this going to do what OG Teddy did? In other words, James Maria, the founder of Atropa, and OG Teddy, is this going to do what that's going to do? This is the chart over the last couple of days, a week or so. It's been around for how many days? 11 days and 20 hours, and it looks pretty strong. It doesn't look pretty strong. So is this going to do a nice big hyper rally? We shall see. Let's put an RSI on this thing, and we're going to have to probably go to the 4-hour chart And of course, the 4-hour chart's the trader's view, right? Take the trader's view there, and let's have a look at that. So yeah, we haven't got anything on the daily yet, but 4-hourly surely. Yeah, 4-hourly there. We've just been skimming across the 50, and we're now up at 60 there. I think that's looking pretty good there as well on that chart. So we could see some pretty power moves, especially now that Richard Hart's bet the ECC. So a lot of people could start FOMOing their capital into Pulse Chain. We're basically taking off the cataracts off the eyes of people, and they're like, "Oh my God, there's Pulse Chain. Now let's go." All right, it's kind of a bit like that maybe. And of course, you got big champions, cheerleaders like Moon King out there pushing them. Now the other one, of course, Tropa. We talked about Tropa there. That has been sort of backing the PDI, right? That's up 15%. And we know that PDI rallied pretty strong on the news. And of course, PDI getting support from new protocols, potentially modified Aave forks and maybe Maker forks. Seems to be a couple of protocols coming in there to support the PDI. Yeah, that's ticking away there at the moment, up 15%. Let's have a quick look at the Tropa die as well. And we're going to go to the 4-hourly here, and we can see that actually it's had a nice little recovery as well after the big, dump fest and stuff like that. That we saw, and it looks like James Maria is working on things based on what Katie says from the XUSD team. We got Incentive Token obviously dominating up 13%. ALGO there on the back of Hex doing pretty well. What else is there? SolidX, of course, coming up there. Now, SolidX is they come out with a really cool post today, and I think that's going to be pretty exciting to where they go. They're all pulled up. So SolidX, this is the OG version, right? This has been around for 1 year. There's a pump ties version launched by Firewhale. And of course, the SolidX here is at $10.31. This is probably going to do extremely well in my view, and it's all tied into the Richard Hart tokens. All the LPs tied in. So if Richard Hart stuff does well, this stuff is probably going to do well. It's all relative to the ratio, but I suggest to you that the value they're adding on top of that and who's running it could really do hyper well there. So SolidX doing pretty well. PulseX up as well. And then it's the SolidX there versus PulseX. You can see all the pairings with SolidX, right? So with PulseX, so they're all on the back of Richard Hart stuff. So as long as they keep their ratio equal or above from this point onwards, that's a winner chicken dinner, right? We got PDC the Grays. Obviously, I think one of the best investmental type of protocols on Pulse Chain, and that is up 11% as well. And we could see a runaway in that chart, right? So let's have a quick look at the old PDC. You can see it there on the chart there. Look, just slowly creeping up. This has a 5% tax, right? And the next target for me is up here at 5,400. So that's a pretty nice gain to head back up there. And let's have a look there. That's a 64% just to get there. Let's have a look at, we've got RSI. No, we don't. So let's add an RSI on here as well. So kind of cool. So if you're looking at charts, then, your basic TA should have some moving averages, should have some support lines, should have an RSI. Right? It's kind of your basic things. And then maybe you can get into max Ds and things like that as well. And see if you got any potential bullish crossovers like we have on Pulse Chain. Got like on the 3-day profile for MACD, got a bullish cross there, so we haven't seen for ages. And the last time we had that, we had like an 80% drive and value. And now that we've got the ECC off our backs, man, things could really be crazy. So you can see on here, we've got RSI. This is on the weekly. This is the weekly RSI, by the way. This is not daily or hourly like I've been showing with the other charts. This is down at 47, so we could have an absolute tier on this one. This is really, really cool. And on the daily, still way down here on the 55, and on the 4-hourly, the short time frame, down here on the 62. So we're looking pretty good on this chart. We're almost breaking out to new highs here on the 4-hourly chart too, which is pretty exciting. So looking pretty good. And big shout out to Prairie out there. If you want to find out all the strategies and stuff like that, he did a video yesterday on a big overview of PDC the Grays. So check him out. Really good commentary on this project. So there we go. What else there? We got Pulse Pup is up 10% there. Mafia there from Jacob. Now, obviously, we're looking forward to PUSD ALGO, the flagship project. Obviously, Jacob's building out his Mafia game at the moment, but we are looking forward to PUSD ALGO. And, of course, we're waiting for Tetra to launch. And then 2 days after that, a Signum Oracle to launch. And then hopefully we'll get an update for PUSD ALGO. And that will be the first true algorithmic stablecoin on Pulse Chain. Remember, there is XUSD on Pulse Chain from Katie and all the devs over there, especially the dev that shut down the maker. But, of course, they're not expecting to peg to $1, right? They're going to move up in value with the kind of oscillation, but it's actually PUSD algo that's actually going to be pegging to $1, and probably going to be the strongest peg, arguably, with the miner bot approach to doing it. So I'm very excited about that. We've seen it work on live on the chain, and we know that Jacob's hired a dev team to get that to market. So we're just waiting for the ducks to line up there. So soon as Signum Oracle, which has been delayed, a week or two. So we've got to be patient with that. I think it's pretty close though, with Stu there getting that to market. So it's coming. It's coming. We got what else there? We got time dividend. Now I want to do a big shout out to KG, man. I mean, he's been doing a great job with the wallet there. Now we know that Richard Hart's been talking about the fork wallet, and that's going to be great. And of course, we may see no sacrifice with that. Maybe he uses the heart tokens in that, but makes a lot of sense, right, to do that. And that could be pretty bullish. And of course, he'll have massive uptake. But it's got to be a wallet that is fluid like Ravi. Like Ravi has got that fluidness to it, and it makes it very easy to get around. So we may see that happen as well. Now we have got Pulse Wallet out there. Some people like it. Some people, it's kind of a modified fork of Ravi. But of course, some people are not so trustworthy. So there's a bit of a mix there. But with the KG wallet, that's been pretty solid. And maybe we'll get a Richard Hart wallet coming out soon as well. There's a lot of things that Richard Hart could do to add a lot of value to the Richard Hart core tokens as well as the Pulse chain. So that's kind of where we are there with time dividends. So big shout out for that. What's over 70,000 downloads or something like that for time Internet Money Wallet. I've had a few people ask me about it recently, and it seems to be a pretty solid wallet. So check it out, and you can test it with a little bit of crypto. Maybe just put $10 on it and play around with the features, something like that. And of course, if you're holding the time dividend in the wallet, you get a share of the fees, right? So the more people using it, more fees, the more you're going to get, right? Instead of Uniswap earning $100 million a year, you guys get the share of, I don't know, 10 million, 100 million. Who knows how big the volumes could get on there. We got Note Token from Randy Alasky. Now, I want to do a live stream. I did one months ago on the influencer tokens. I want to do another one on this category because it's a category I haven't really done recently. I've done lots of the other top categories performing, but I do want to do the influence on there. So big shout out to Randy Alasky and his No Permissions, right? And doing a great job there. Note Token there up 9.5%. So we're going to keep a check on that because obviously he's friends with Firewall. That's with SolidX and with X Game and all the rest coming. So we're pretty excited about where that's going to go there with the Note Token as well. So big shout out there. Loan Token from Liquid Loans. We saw Liquid Loans a chief out there the other day doing an interview. So they said they're going to have a big onboarding partner coming to PulseChain. Haven't heard anything about that yet, but we'd love to see Crypto Crazy talk about that. And that's potentially another bullish thing. We've talked about Sun Mini Meal, right? That's going to be obviously a big deal. The soil token with the burn and the keys, the God mode keys taken away, and of course 20% of their revenue going in to buying and burning that token off as a increasing asset value play. And could be mass adoption too from Europe and around the world as that food corporate just goes global and also already doing very well. And so we could see a massive amount of value coming in with Sun Mini Meal, but maybe Liquid Loans also with their onboarding approach, if they're still pursuing that could be massive for PulseChain. So I'd like to hear about that. It's sort of a question mark on that one, but potentially could have been a major onboarding tool to PulseChain, especially now the SEC's out of the way. No one's really going to say, well, you got the SEC on you. No, we haven't. We defeated them. And now it's game on. So we'll see where that leads. Maybe that's a hamstring for some of these corporate sort of, onboarding things from the old traditional world. It takes a lot to educate people that are not in crypto, right? You go around, you feel like they're zombies compared to you. You're like, well, I know what's going on. Why don't you know? I talk to people about crypto and they go, what? I just want to play soccer, man. I just want to play soccer. All right, so that's pretty much it. We got PDI pump tires there. That is up 9% as well. Sparta, of course, everyone's liking Sparta with the old burn Sparta, and then also put some of the stuff in treasury for buy Hex and put it in treasury. Hex goes up with the Richard Hart core coins, and then of course go and burn Sparta later on. So everyone likes that kind of model that's doing pretty well there from the old Wendy's for Tendies, Hex OG. We've got UFO, obviously the what do you call it, the child of PDC, doing pretty well, up 8.8% there as well. Lady Gaga up, Incognito, people talking about this as well, so that's up 8.7% there. Most wanted, of course, pump tires as well. This is the sort of the copy of Ricky. Ricky's the original, right? So check out Ricky. Big shout out to Ricky community out there. And most is kind of the pump tires version of that later on. So we got those two sort of clashing together in some ways. But of course, Ricky out there is the OG. What else? We've got Beast Token, another printer token. And man, this is performing well with the payouts on the old printer. This is also on our alpha list. If you haven't joined our Telegram, links in the video description, join up to that. And we've just upgraded the whole list. And a big shout out to MV for helping curate that and leading that. So a big shout out to MV. He's our promotional lead. So if you definitely want to get promoting for your project just definitely hit him up. And of course, once we've assessed your project, we'll be happy to support you with that. Now, X Game, of course, is coming. We're going to be talking about that more, so hold on to your hat for that. That is up 7.5% too. That's another pump tires there. And of course, what else there? We got Thaler as well. That is out there. And what else there? Hex, of course. There's a pumped. This is the original Hex. This is up 7% as well today. So we've got a little move there. Pump tires, the main coin for pump tires, one would argue, is the branded name Pump Tires, and that is 6.5% up today. We've got XUSD. We've been talking about that too. This is an interesting thing. Of course, we know Rack and Michelle, the big whale, is in XUSD suit, right? So Rack and Michelle is back from his honeymoon, and man, what a honeymoon that was. And now he's back on XUSD. He's big on this. So he's the biggest sacrificer on PulseX, right? He had a bit of a consortium for that. And he's been buying XUSD. He's been buying PDI as well. So that is up 6.3% there. Big stuff happening with the XUSD. Keep a look out for that. It's not really a peg dollar. It's going to kind of push itself up there through its incentives. It's got incentives to, if the price is below or high, and makes you go up. It's got this big a pass that you can get, right? So it's got all this sort of tokenomics, and we're going to be watching that. Of course, it caused the big drama with the PDI sell down the other day. It's massive burn, man, massive burn, over 9%, almost 10%, I think, on the burn now for XUSD. So it's doing pretty well there. What else we got going? Gophers, of course. This is from Dipcatcher. We're about to talk about Dipcatcher now. So this is kind of where I'm going to finish because we're Gophers, the 404 contract. We talk about PRC 20s, of course, PRC 1155, 721 contracts, NFTs. But this here is a 404, and this is from Dipcatcher, and it's $170 at the moment, up 5%. And it's a good time to get in to talk about his next project for Hex, right? So let's get into that. I think we've got some comments here from Valiant, though, so let's talk about that. Valiant says, greetings, old Glory Bank combined with Coast. Works great for me. No ETH or bridge needed. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah, so definitely if you want to get stuff over the bridge with Fiat, set yourself up with Coast and get there working with the old Glory Bank. It's working very well, especially if the bridge is down. We've had the bridge down a few times. Hopefully that's all going to be fixed up. Hopefully we're going to get more alternatives for bridges. But this is all part of the maturing of the chain, right? So as we move forward, we get more better quality validators, more bridging options, things like that. This is a whole field. This, it's an open territory for developers to get in and really boom. And we're already seeing tons of them, right? I just did a video only a week or so back on the top 5 protocols coming, and we've got many more other protocols on top of that coming as well. So it's going to be, I think we'll be fine. All right, so let's get into it. We got Dipcatcher here announced his product. We've been waiting for this for a couple of days. Dipcatcher, of course, the founder of Maximus, along with Gold Key, and of course they launched that during the bear market, and man, they ate up a ton of Hex. I think it was about 1.4 billion, along with Alex McFord. I think it ended up being like 2 billion Hex got eaten up in those projects. Pretty cool. And of course they are the second biggest staker, Maximus, out in after the 2030s, right? So was it 2034, something like that? They were out there with the old Hex gold whale, right? So those are the two big whales out in the future. So it's going to be pretty fun to see that play out. Now he's announcing FlexNet, a blockchain powered by Hex and an ecosystem incubator innovating at this intersection of DeFi, AI, and quantum. I'm not sure what he means by quantum. Subatomic particles. We're talking about neutrinos and electrons or something. What are we talking about? We got AI. And of course, the next breakthrough megatrend in crypto will be created on FlexNet. So he's taken a lot of thought into this, and I really have liked where Dipcatcher has evolved to. It's going from next level to next level all the time. Now, Flex is going to be a one-to-one wrapped eHex, so you need Hex on Ethereum. It's going to be a one-to-one wrap version. It's the native gas token on FlexNet, so you need to get eHex, get the Flex there with the wrap, and by wrapping, and it's a wrap token version. And of course, and the primary liquidity pair on FlexDex, a novel ERC20 standard extension combining Launchpad. It's going to have a Launchpad on there, a DEX, decentralized exchange, and a token all-in-one contract. So it's pretty interesting. Built on the conduit roll-up stack, and the FlexNet will have industry standard explorers, RPC URLs, subgraph indexing, stablecoins, bridges, and on-ramps from day one. So it's kind of like a second layer protocol, right? It's basically we're talking about here. The ecosystem incubator will provide resources and support for innovators who choose to build on FlexNet, leveraging our 8+ years of building on the space. This is like launching your own pulse chain, like kind of a second layer pulse chain on the Hex on Ethereum. And it's kind of a nice novel idea. I love this innovation. There are opportunities to get involved both as a technical builder or someone who wants to become the owner of FlexNex and support builders with full alignment of incentives. Read more on the site link below. So this is something Alex McFerrin might get into this as well. It kind of seems a lot of similarities with this data center and other things that Alex is doing around, potentially, we haven't heard from it, but icosahedron 2.0. We are currently getting ready for public testnet release, followed by infrastructure partnership formation and the mainnet release very soon. This is coming only weeks away, probably 4 to 6 weeks is my guess. But pretty cool. The goals of FlexNex: create a new high growth demand source for Hex, which is bullish. We're all happy with that. Support ecosystem builders to create the next big thing. Support speculators building on the next big thing. This is on the ETH chain, of course. Integrating with the multi-billion-dollar Ethereum layer 2 economy instead of isolating away from it. Restoring the public credibility of Hex and revitalize culture of innovation. I love that. This is the beginning of an important quest to restore Hex to its proper glory. Join us in this critical mission. Pretty excited. I'm very excited about that. And of course, he's got a cool breakdown of the website, which we're going to go to. This is FlexNex. So I'm going to post this link in the chat there. You're going to check it out. This is very bullish if you're holding EHEX. And I've said it to you guys. I said I'm bullish on EHEX. I'm bullish on Richard Hart's tokens, but EHEX is, I think there's a lot of dynamics to EHEX that are going to be very good indeed. Now, obviously, not investment advice. You know how it rolls, but you need to make up your own decisions as mature adults that have left home. Most of you, I know there's a few of you probably still at home, but that's probably the way it goes. All right, let's not get too crazy with this. I know. We got that is the link there to the new protocol. So definitely check it out because this could be a big opportunity as part of your portfolio. So check that out. Now, we're going to have a look at the website. So we got here on FlexNex, and it's got a full website here. I'm going to scroll up on that a little bit there, and maybe we'll even go to the big screen. Let's go to the big screen for this. Now, let's see here. We're going to jump over there. Bam. All right, so Netflix for on-chain. So we've got the about features, getting started, FlexDex, ownership roadmap, and incubator. The Nexus for on-chain innovation, blockchain powered by X, and an ecosystem incubator innovating at the intersection of digital finance, AI, and quantum. Now, obviously, Dipcatcher has been a very trusted source of development for Hex, so you can take that as what you will, and become an owner. Learn more. 100 transactions throughput per second. Hex is the network token. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Pretty awesome. I like it. I like where he's heading with this. This is really going to cause a lot of excitement. 100,000 plus community, of course, in Hex about Flex. FlexNex is a layer 2 rollup built on Conduit Stack, which enables tight integration with the broader Ethereum layer 2 ecosystem infrastructure and the use of wrap Hex as the native gas token. Man, you could not launch this announce this at least, because it's going to be launching soon. But you could not announce this at a better time when Richard Hart beats the SEC on Hex and PulseChain and PulseX. The timing's unbelievable. This enables FlexNex from day one to have a cross-chain bridge, high-performance block explorer, seamless on-ramps, powerful subgraph indexing, and everything else that builders need when inventing the future and speculators need when betting on it. I love that. So very poetic there from Dipcatcher. By FlexNex, of course. Why FlexNex? Culture of innovation, powered by Hex and built on Conduit. That's kind of the summary there. Why Hex, widespread distribution, high growth potential, and FlexDex liquidity. And of course, that's bullish for Hex, right? So kind of cool. What makes FlexNex unique? It's obviously got a DEX, FlexDex, a complete novel ERC token standard with supply issuance, loss mitigation, and liquidity pools. It's got the Flex Lab Incubator, an incubator program offering personalized development and launch support for our experienced core team, from our experienced core teams. It's bullish for developers. Vibrant Hex community, of course, around 100,000. Ownership opportunity, become a network owner. Now, a lot of people will be excited about that opportunity through our fundraising rounds and earn sequencing of fees, FlexDex earnings, and exposed to incubators. So that could be a big opportunity, not just the Hex one, but also the ownership opportunity there. High performance, experience blazing fast transactions with the industry-leading layer 2 network. And of course, we can always appreciate fast transactions. If you don't appreciate fast transactions, let's go back to Bitcoin. Now, we know Bitcoin's a store of value. It's going to do its wonderful thing. But, man, it's slow. It's slow. You can go off and have a cup of coffee and come back. It is so slow. Seamless bridging, convert Hex to Flex and bridge to FlexNex in one simple steps there. So that's kind of cool too. So they've got lots of cool stuff there. You can become an owner there. I don't know whether else there, how to get on FlexNex, get Hex on Ethereum. Acquire Hex is going to more buy pressure for Hex on Ethereum. Connect to the bridge step. And, of course, you can bridge over your funds, convert Hex to Flex. our bridge to convert your hex to flex and bridge to flex next in one step. Now, normally you would not want to give up your hex, right, in that sense, right? So, but this way, if you trust the person, Dipcat's got a pretty good history, and then that's up to you, right? So that's part of the critical decision making you need to make, right? Whenever you're not your keys, not your coins. And of course, this will probably be safely locked up, but once again, you got to be comfortable with that the security is in place. And of course, I'm a big fan of Dipcatcher, so I presume that it's all fine. So, but you can check and check the dots, check the code and that sort of thing. Connect to FlexDex RPC URL and add the FlexDex network to your wallet, and of course, you're on the second layer. Bam! That's how easy it is. So he's really thought of it all in this website. Acquire FlexNex ownership units. The cool thing about this website is that it's actually there's not a lot. I can't see any obvious spelling mistakes or anything like that. And sometimes you go to websites and they're good at coding maybe, or they're bad at coding, but they're also bad at writing up the website. Sequencer fees. So there's lots of ways to benefit. Sequencer. If you acquire FlexNex ownership units, they're very key. You're going to get sequencer fees, FlexDex LP fees, incubator equity, and fundraising bonuses. So there's a lot of opportunities there. You got pre-testnet phase, Angel $50. You got testnet phase, $100 seed, and then you got mainnet phase, $200 expansion. So there's lots of different opportunities. They're not out yet, but they're coming up. Now this one here, unit sold, looks like they've sold the Angel, 183 out of 10,000 sold, 9,817 available. So you probably want to get, that's actually quite a large number actually. If you think if you got 100,000 hex skins or something, that's still quite a large number there, 9,800. Interesting number, that one. Now you've got ownership unit information, limited supply. Total supply of ownership units is limited to under 1,000. So I think by the time they're all said and done, it will be under 1,000. And so on. So purchase process, they got all that there as well. Roadmap development. So initial developments in play, pre-testnet phase, launch of ownership units, bridge development, and flex protocol. And then Q2, they got the testnet launch there. So testnet deployment, and then by the Q3, they're going to have mainnet launch. So that's your time frame. Just remember to keep, you got to keep practical about that. But always, if you're basically getting in early on something, that could be a good thing. Now, you got to weigh up, is it better for you you're just going to keep that? If you're going to keep it in hex, well, it could be an opportunity, right? Upside, because you're going to keep it hex anyway. But if you're not, then, you got to take into account that you might do other stuff with it. Maybe you make 10x on something else, So there's different decisions to making, but this is looks pretty exciting, doesn't it? With all that. So kind of cool. And there's got a button there, become an owner. I guess you click that and away you go, right? Away you go. So there we go. That's Quantum's quadruple income streams. And that is the current offerings there. So price per unit, 0.0369 ETH. Units remaining and active. Your statistics and important details there. So you can purchase any amount of units there as well and scale up your position, become a bigger owner in that. So that is from Dipcatcher. Let's see what else he's got to say about this stuff. Let's see. He's put out a lot of stuff in the recent post there. So we're going to quickly go through this. FlexDex is the first game changer. The culture innovation on FlexDex is about to bring more than one game-changing innovation. FlexDex is an ambitious attempt to help Hex to break through out of the current echo chamber and create the big mega trend. And I think this is important. I think that's pretty important. And he's obviously had a X space there as well. So you can check that out and find out more about that. What else has he got there? Yeah, kind of cool. Future ecosystem fundraising issued to people who make outstanding contributions and so on. So it's got lots of extra stuff here on the post there. Use of funds. So the funds are going to be used for network infrastructure operations, integration and partnerships, incubated projects, and growth and marketing of FlexNex there. Current unit price, $50. And of course, 4 revenue sources from that. So that's kind of where he is there. Got a cool little Netflix owner what do you call it, card. Sort of a high-tech card there. So check that out. So there's lots of cool stuff in there. What else? Let's see what else he's got before we wrap this section up. That's kind of it on that one. So that is from Dipcatcher. I think I posted the link in the chat there. So definitely well worth checking out. And, he's got a great reputation in my view. And he's done some great stuff for Pulse Chain. So definitely check that out. But always do your security checks as normal. I mean, it's a normal course of crypto. We got Wookie in the house there. Wookie has made it home alive. Woo! Good to see you there, Wookie. And of course, I'll see you in the Discord after the chat. You got to get in the Discord after chat. It's important. It's important. Okay, so am I up to trouble? Yes, I am. If you guys are wondering what am I up to, yeah. All right, so let's get into it. We're gonna have a good time. Magical trouble. So that is kind of where we are. That's kind of where we are now. If you guys haven't followed here on the channel, we're almost at 350. You guys know that X pulled down my big channel that I had that was growing really fast. and I'm starting again. But we've got a whole new branded look now, and we're really having a great time there as well. So not only are we covering obviously pulse chain and crypto and politics and other topics, but we're also obviously getting into helping promote teams. We want to find really quality teams, small to medium particularly, and with all the crypto people, so we can match those two up and get win-win outcomes. And that's kind of where we've gone into promotions. And as far as I know, we're the only one doing promotions out on the pulse chain that at reasonable prices and all that. So if you want to check out, definitely hit me up in either Telegram or MVS. He's our promotions lead. He's doing a really great job out there. Hit us up there, and we can send you our basically our pricing schedule for that, which is actually a win-win outcome there. So very reasonable stuff there. All right, so check that out. And if you haven't followed on X, definitely do that. The link's in the video description. And join up to Discord, Telegram, and X. And we've got a big announcement coming up. Probably tomorrow is my guess. I'm thinking hopefully we're going to be in position to do that tomorrow. And that's just one of the things that we are doing to get the best out of Pulse Chain. So it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, I think that's pretty much it, is it? I think it is. Let's wrap up the show. We got any more final comments? We're at an hour and 15 minutes, which is kind of the max period that I like to talk about. We've got about 140 people watching at the moment, so big shout out. If you are new to the channel, smash the follow button, hit the like button, hit the bell, all that good stuff, and share the channel around. That's probably the biggest thing you could do. Share. You guys know what I do every day, and that is no drama, no drama channel. Well, a little bit of drama these days because I got a new brand, but not much drama, and mostly crypto, right? Mostly crypto and economics and politics. That's kind of where we sit. That's kind of our zone there. And of course, we're covering some of the very best up and coming projects, some of the big established projects, and we pretty much cover all the different categories that are on Pulse Chain performing pretty much every day. So you're going to expect more good stuff there. All right. We got Valiant says, many thanks for all the Alpha Suit, man. Hey, most welcome, Valiant. I will see you guys in Telegram and Discord, and of course on the airwaves. And I will catch you guys tomorrow for the tomorrow show. I hope you guys enjoyed your Easter, and a week ahead should be pretty good as well. Take care, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.